It's about a bazillion degrees in the UK right now. I'm sweating my ass off. There's a lot to talk about. So let's do this. Yo, what's good everyone? I'm your boy Sutton and welcome back to another video. This video is kind of like a video I never thought I'd actually have to make, and obviously if you've seen the title of the video, then you know, you pretty much know the reason why I'm making this. To be abundantly clear, I'm having time off away from PES because it has been somewhat of a stressful year, just as a player and a content creator. I'm not going to go through all of the little reasons as to why I'm leaving, because I've actually recorded that video before and there was about almost 2 hours worth of talking. I thought, I'm not doing this, so I thought, you know what, let's just try and have a video where it's a little bit smaller, you know, a little bit more neatened up. So first things first, obviously I never thought I'd ever actually have to do this video, which is really bizarre. The next thing, I guess, is, you know, why would I even, you know, after being with PES since PES 15, being part of this community, you know, why would I even think of taking a year off when PES 21 is literally just around the corner? I'm going to be honest with you, especially for anyone who watches this or the community especially, is I have not enjoyed PES for at least a good couple of years, and it has been somewhat of a mental struggle to make content. Obviously my first content was based around PES 19, you know, the whole Grind to Glory series, and then recently, you know, we've just had the Bloodline series on PES 20. Now, as much as I loved making those videos, it was somewhat, I wouldn't say it was a drag. It was a bit of a mental push though. It was almost like going to the gym when you don't want to go to the gym, but you have to go to the gym. You know, otherwise you don't make any progress. For me, it's about, when it comes to making content on YouTube, it is about being able to have fun when playing. You know, I don't want to have to put on a game and I go, right, here we go, I'm going to have to really push through this to make content. And for me, that is not what YouTube or making videos is about, like, at all. PES 20 for me just has not been a successful year. You know, I'm sure there are many other streamers and content creators out there who have had a very successful year when it comes to PES 20. For myself, however, as a fan, as a gamer and a content creator, it has not been so successful. And when I mean successful, I just mean the fun factor of PES. You know, it isn't there. It's this struggle to get up and actually press X on my PlayStation to actually start this game and then press record, because I don't know what it is that I'm getting. I don't know. And for some people it's like, yeah, but that's part of the game, like, you know, you never know what you're going to get. But I don't mean, what I mean is, what I don't know what I'm going to get is this whole thing of, I'll play a game and either the team can work absolutely great, which is fine, and that's great, you know, it's good for me because obviously I win and, you know, people like to see that kind of thing. Or what can happen is that what 9 times out of 10 happens is not always losing, but there's just little cock-ups in gameplay, and it's just like, not only is it not enjoyable for me, but then when I watch back on it, I'm thinking to myself, I have to now somehow cut this video up, put it together and make it somewhat enjoyable. I guess the last thing on PES 20 that I'm going to talk about, because obviously, you know, like I said, I could go into detail. I have gone into detail before in another video. If it's not enjoyable for me, it's not going to be enjoyable for you guys to watch, because you're going to see the frustrations as well. And sorry, going back to what I was going to say before, is what I'm actually doing is I'm actually advertising a game that I know myself that I'm not happy with, you know, because whether you content create Call of Duty or you content create around FIFA, you're more or less promoting this game to other people to say, look, hey, come and try this, this is great, or, you know, come and try this because it's fun. Unless you're making a review video about how bad the game is. But 9 times out of 10, you're making content around a game because you enjoy that game, and therefore you're actually giving promotion of that game to other viewers and users as well. So that's, you know, when I think about it in the long run, I'm thinking, well, I don't actually enjoy PES 20 that much. I'm not gonna advocate and help advertise this game to people to try it. You know, it's just, I just don't want to do it. I guess the next thing to talk about is PES 21. You know, this game is literally right around the corner. It is coming out September 14th. I'm not quite sure. It comes out September, but I will basically I'm saying no to PES this year, and there are many reasons for it. One of the many reasons is I don't agree paying for a game that is basically the same as last year. This is, by the way, disclaimer, these opinions are mine and mine alone. They're not of other people's or anything like that. I'm going to weigh up the pros and the cons of PES 21 in my opinion. So yeah. So going back to the previous point is, I feel like by paying £25 for PES 21, because Konami have more or less stated that it's not a new build, there are no new gameplay features and things like that. So from what we've seen anyway, there are no new gameplay features. So I'm basically paying £25 for my PES 20 to be reset, so I can play the same game again, spend more money on getting featured players and player of the weeks. Do you see where I'm going? It sounds like an actual mess. It doesn't sound smart. It doesn't sound smart for me, you know, to put the money in and then spend even more money to get to it. Even the time just doesn't, it just doesn't make sense. The next thing is, by me also paying £25 for a new game, and obviously you getting the free coins, I mean, technically it's kind of, it depends on how you look at it. It's kind of like the glass is half full, half empty. Either you think it's half full and you're paying £25 for a new game, because obviously with the new game you get, with a new game you get new kits, you get a few new stadiums and etc. Or you can be the half kind of guy and go, well, actually I'm paying £25 for an updated game, i.e. transfers and etc. and I'm actually paying £25 just to get coins, you know, because with I think you get something like 2,400 coins or like 3,000 coins or something like that. For me to, if I was going to make a video on PES 21 and saying I'm buying it, I'm basically saying that I am, you know, okay with Konami basically saying to me, like, look, here's the same game again, but what you're paying for is for it to be reset. You get some coins, you get some, you know, you get the transfer updates and maybe a few new players added to the database. That's about it. And I have to sit there and just go, no, I'm not buying into that. I'm just not doing it. There are some pros. You know, I've spoken to the likes of like Ashy B, who sort of like confirmed a lot of things for me, and you know, made things very abundantly clear. For example, you know, we're talking about the coins and things like that, but obviously if you have a certain amount of legends, then you are entitled to getting a certain amount of iconic players in the game as well. Something along those lines, I might have got mixed up, I'm not quite sure. Yeah, so you could basically have, depending on how many legend players that you have or iconic moments or whatever, you could already start PES 21 with half a squad of iconic moment players. Not to mention that you can also stack 5 club editions together and get another 5 iconic moment players, which means you can have a full team of iconic moments from the get-go. Now, hear what I'm trying to say as a content creator. Depending on what it is that you do, you know, you could be into the whole 5-star thing and just do the road to glory and stuff like that in PES, and it can go smoothly and stuff like that, but that can also end very quickly, you know. And I like to have a journey when I'm playing a game. I moaned about Bloodline here and there sometimes, but I had to sit back and sometimes remember it is just a journey. It is you know, this is why I created Bloodline, because it's a long process. The problem with Bloodline was that I started too late with it. I'm not going to sit here as well and say to people, you know, if you buy 5 editions of the game, that you are stupid. You know, it's not my money. I couldn't actually give 2 tosses whether or not people want to go and spend £125, or sorry, yeah, 125 quid on 5 editions of PES. I just think that people should know, in terms of this whole thing of building something up and then going forward in it, it's going to be one of those things where you are going to more or less have everything that you want from the get-go when you have this game. And people have to be ready for that. If you're not that kind of person, I don't think PES is going to be your game this year. God, there's so much to talk about and try and squash it in. I'm just trying to realistically think. I guess one of the main things is, like, you know, if I'm leaving PES for the year, you know, what it is that I'm going to be making content on YouTube and things like that. And that's a very good question. I have come to the conclusion of what it is that I'm going to make content on. And it is basically looking like this. Cyberpunk 2077, because I feel like that game, I know a lot of people are going to be doing loads of content around it and stuff like that, but I want to make content on it because I feel like I'm going to really enjoy it. And I've waited almost 12 years for this game to drop, or something like 8 years for this game to drop, sorry. The next game I think I'd also really want to make content on is 2K's PGA Tour. You know, I used to like playing games like Top Spin Series and things like that. It seems like the PGA Tour for 2K is taking the same kind of direction. Hopefully we can sort of build like a community around that. And lastly, oh God, how am I supposed to say this one? I am moving to FIFA 21.
Move this man!
For the year. I'm moving there for the year, okay? I'm moving there for the year. That's all it is. I will make a video based around the reason why I'm leaving PES this year for FIFA. I mean, one of the main things is, and I'll tell you lot now, is the content around FIFA. It just, right now, for someone who wants longevity for the year, is FIFA seems to be right up my street. Whether or not I agree with the gameplay mechanics and things like that, that is something I have to push to the side because I'm a huge football fan, and, you know, for me especially, I want the longevity of a game that's just gonna give me everything that I want and I need for the year. I don't think PES can deliver that, and I think it is going to be a very struggling year for PES fans this year. Different kits, new stadiums, same Master League, same team lobby, same co-op. When you look at it at the long run, as a player, I mean, put the content creator aside, as a player for PES, it's almost infuriating to have a game not even come out with at least 1 or 2 new gameplay features for this year. And to me personally, it seems incredibly lazy. And this is why I'm not buying into it, because £2 is too many pounds already for a game that should at least give you something. You know, I sit here and I'm thinking to myself, do I really want to spend, I mean, if I can get it at the cheapest, it's maybe 15 quid, 17 pounds, but would I want to spend that on a game that is basically the same as last year? You know, I don't care about the iconic moments. I don't care about, you know, fresh kits and new transfer updates. I'm not being funny. You can either go to the likes of PES World or PES Universe, where they can do things like the transfer updates and whatnot, and just put them on to PES 20. You can get updated kits, again, from PES World or PES Universe, and put it on PES 20. But instead, what Konami have done has gone, well, I'll tell you what, how about we just charge you for it? Okay, fair enough, you might not get the new updated Arsenal kit or the new updated United kit, but are you that fussed about the aesthetics of the game? Or would you rather, like for me, I would rather them just go, you know what, there's not going to really be an update. It's just going to be more of a seasonal update. There's going to be new transfers and stuff like that. We're not going to be changing the kits. I feel like with PES, there isn't really any transparency between both company and their player base, their fan base. You know, it is, for me, it feels very lazy, and I'm also like, I kind of feel a little bit disrespected. I just feel like they could have done things very differently and just gone like, the pandemic has unfortunately, you know, forced us to do something that we wouldn't normally do within this industry, which is giving you the same game twice. Obviously, I'm not going to say the same game twice. They word it a little bit differently, but you get what I mean. Giving the same game twice. However, what we are doing is pushing towards to give you the best PES experience on the 5th gen console, because as some of you may know, PES 2022 is now going to be put on the Unreal Engine on the PS5. Now that is something I'm looking forward to, and I probably will come back to, but it also leaves me partly scared, because bearing in mind, okay, PES had the Fox engine on PES 14 and went on to PES 15 and it was a huge success, and then PES 16 was also a very good success. I know some people love PES 17 as well. I kind of felt like that was slowly the dipping point in PES. I felt like that was the start of a dipping point. It may have not been PES 17, but definitely after that, it was a huge dipping point. PES 18, PES 19, and PES 20, and obviously now it's going to be PES 21. It's going to be a 4-year span of potential downhill. And I have this feeling that there'll be this massive hype around the Unreal Engine, there'll be this massive hype on the PS5, and I have a funny feeling that PES 2022 is going to do phenomenally well on the PS5 when it drops. My concern is the years after, because they had this plan, this 3-year plan from PES 16 to PES 19, and for some reason it just hasn't followed through. And then they had another 3-year plan from PES 19 to PES 21, and again it just hasn't followed through. So my concern is, they have these 3-year plans, but I want them to kind of understand, like, look, this is the now, and this is something that and this is why I have to step away for now, because as a player, I don't feel like we're getting the right message from Konami, and definitely not the right message from PES. It just seems to be like, look, it's very wishy-washy. It is what it is. Obviously, due to the pandemic, you know, we can't really do too much, which is understandable, and you know, I can 100% sympathize with that. But you know, let's also not forget as well that Konami is a AAA platform company. Okay, we're not talking about, you know, something like Sucker Punch, or like, I'm not saying that Sucker Punch isn't a good AAA platform company. I'm just saying the amount of years that Konami has been here, the excuse of they couldn't do something, just add a little something to PES 20 to PES 21 this year. I understand that, you know, they're focusing more on PES 2022, and I totally understand that, and I really hope they hit the ground running. I have a feeling they will hit the ground running. Don't quote me on that, and don't hold me to it. I'm just saying my feelings is that I think they will hit the ground running, and I hope they do. But this year, yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to be swapping in for FIFA 21 this year. You know, as a football fan, I think it definitely feeds my sort of needs. And I'm kind of like nervous and excited to be doing it, because like the FIFA community is such a vast community. I don't know what's going to happen. You know, I'm not looking to like break on the scene and be like this person taking over or anything like that. I want to play a football game that reminds me what football is and try to enjoy it. I think the other thing is also trying to like play with friends again, because even on PES, playing with friends every now and then was okay, but Konami again have this absolute monstrosity of an issue, which is the whole link up thing. Whether it's team lobbies or friendlies or whatever, it just seems to be an absolute mess. Maybe I could do a video on what PES needs to do in order to be successful in the future. I don't know. Leave a comment in the section below if you want to see that, or leave a like. But yeah, like I say, I will be taking a year break from PES to go to FIFA 21. It's gonna be a weird year this year. You know, with everything that's gone on and the fact that I'm going to be swapping over for the year to FIFA, it's going to be a really weird year. But I'm actually quite excited in terms of content, because there's definitely a lot more here for me to play with, you know, just try new things out. But yeah, like I said, I'm taking a year break. See you later, PES. This isn't, you know, officially goodbye. It's just Adios. See you later. That's it. If you guys like what you've heard or what you have seen, if you're not following me on Twitter, follow me on Twitter. And if you're not subscribed, what are you doing? Subscribe. Let's get to 200 subscribers by the end of the year. Please. Please. But yeah, take care. I've been your boy Sutton. Peace.